Welcome to GG, also known as Gamer Guides, the no mess, no fluff, no ads, sponsors don't care if you sub to my channel, but drink vanilla coke anyway, guides to gaming and you. This is the new year, new player, noob special for Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. This guide is not just for noobs, but also for veteran players in some things you may have not known, and also how to treat the new players. Without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1. Do the operations. These operations will give you a nice starting bank of renown to unlock operators for you that you may or not already have in the beginning. These will also introduce you to some of the basics of the game, so you're not going in blindly without knowing what objectives are, what some maps look like, or other basic things of the game you should know. There are also tutorial videos which you should watch. You can skip these videos if you already know what it's talking about, such as movement or things like that, and it'll still give you the renown. Some things I think you should watch though in case you don't know. Along with these operations, I also suggest spending some private match time inside the maps you're unaware of or you're having issues coming to grips with, the map layout and whatnot. This will help you just get a better feel for it. Tip number 2. Adjust your sensitivity. For the love of God, please adjust your sensitivity. Sensitivity is not set in stone. The same sensitivity does not work across all games, and in my experiences with FPSs over the years, lower is better. Once you're comfortable with how the game controls in general, you may eventually want to switch to what we call the Kickstar sensitivity. It's created by Kickstar, who's a well-known Siege player. It adjusts a few things in an INI file that make aiming overall arguably more smooth. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to try the Kickstarter sensitivity, but again, the overall main point of this is to adjust your sensitivity, change it till you're comfortable with it. Tip number 3. Communicate. Siege is a game that communication is absolute key. Turn on your VoIP and know what key it is. Adjust your volume accordingly, obviously, so players aren't blowing out your ears. Mic quality from player to player may differ, but absolutely communicate with other players on your team, even if you can only do it through chat. Relay information to your teammates to the best of your ability. Even though you may not know some map callouts, try to give them general directions or cardinal directions of whatever floor you're on. Knowing where the enemy team is half of the battle. Communicating with your teammates can make that half of the battle simple and easy. Tip number 4. Map knowledge. Regardless of how good of a shot you are, someone that knows the map better than you will run circles around you, and will eventually lead you into a trap. Knowing the layout of the map is extremely important, for when you hear sounds, get callouts, or try to figure out where two different floors are in relation to each other. Also, establishing lines of sight from one area to the next. Learning callouts of these maps is super important. Down in the bottom right hand side, especially when you're on your drone, it'll tell you what the name of the room is that you're currently in. This is where private matches will come in handy. Go in, spend some time with the map, learn the walkthrough of it, and be comfortable. There's also knowing which walls are soft and which walls are hard, bringing me to my next tip. Tip number 5. Hard and soft objects. Go ahead and make your sex jokes now. Okay, a soft wall usually means projectiles in some fashion can pass through them. The easy test is, if you can shoot through a wall, it's soft. There are exceptions to this rule. For instance, on plane, nobody can shoot through the plane windows, except for glass. So, they're only soft to glass. Also, some objects may appear to be hard, but actually aren't. For instance, on the map House, this bookshelf doesn't seem to sustain damage from bullets, but the bullets do pass through. These are semi-soft objects, because they are soft but do not appear to be, where the windows on plane are semi-hard, as only glass can shoot through them. There are many objects that fit into the semi-soft, and not so many that fit into the semi-hard. The best way to find out is to shoot it. Tip number 6. Audio. Audio plays a huge role in this game. The first thing you want to do is go into your settings and decide if you like hi-fi or TV more. And yes, even if you're using headphones on PC, TV is still a legit option. Hi-fi has more of a decibel range in terms of how loud or soft things are. TV closes that gap and can make soft sounds louder and loud sounds softer, but this reduces how well you're able to gauge distance based off sound. Night mode does this even more, to an extreme that night mode's not even considered an option. Night mode makes all the sounds that are soft and loud right in the middle, and it's almost impossible to gauge distance using sound with night mode on. Personally, I use hi-fi, but I also have $400 Sennheiser headphones. The range of my headphones may be a lot larger than yours, so mix it up every once in a while, listen, and decide what you like best, what's giving you the most clues as to where they're coming from. Audio can be used for a great many things that take some training. Your ears are one of your best weapons. Now this is the first step to learning how audio works in this game because Siege has a great sound propagation engine. In Siege, you can hear some sound through walls, ceilings, and floors, and other surfaces, but these will be muffled at best. The bulk of the sound is going to come from the nearest opening, or the shortest line you can travel between you and the source of the sound. The level of sound will also change based on distance.
Find the biohazard container location.
Well, I'm sure it's positively freezing over there.
Well, fuck
So
you
cold.
and your Scandinavian temperatures, or wherever the hell you live. Basement? Basement. In these examples, I'm using how loud the sound is to determine about how far it is away from me. It is still some guesswork because your ears aren't calibrated like a machine. So there is a little bit of guesswork in here, but this also comes back around to map knowledge. Once you know your map well enough and you know how sound works at distances, you'll be able to gauge fairly accurately where the sound is coming from, even if you're 3 floors below it. Tip number 7. Operator knowledge. Knowing the operators and their abilities is something you will have to learn over time, but the faster you can learn it, the better it is for you. For instance, if they have a pulse on their team, you're going to be wary of what we call roamers. A roamer is a person who is not staying on object, but roaming around the map to likely flanking spots, ambush points, peeking spots, or choke points that will allow them to get the drop on you before you ever even see the objective. These are operators built around roaming such as Pulse and Kavera. Pulse, for instance, can track your heartbeat at short distances, allowing him to track your movement through walls and floors. This is great as a roamer, as he can see when you're setting up to hit an objective, run up the stairs behind your team and flank you, disrupting your whole plan. Getting kills isn't always what makes a good player. Wasting a lot of enemy time makes you a good player as well. Waste enough time and they'll eventually be forced to rush the objective, making them easy pick-off kills for friendlies set up inside the objective. Back to the operator knowledge in general, if a pulse is on the team, this is an indication to be wary of windows and other soft surfaces unless you know exactly where the pulse is at all times, as he can wait behind soft objects, allow you to get in front of them for a breach charge or a fuse charge, and then get the easy kill on you. Hibana and Thermite can make holes in reinforced walls, so you may hide behind a reinforced wall and think you're safe, but if they have a Thermite or a Hibana on their team, they can quickly create an opening that can get you killed. Buck can create sudden openings in soft walls and lines of sight where there shouldn't be ones, and can be quite disruptive for your positioning on the defensive team. Smoke can keep you out of the objective and zone you for prolonged periods of time, making it difficult to get into the objective, choking you to death, and more. And these are just some examples of operator knowledge and what these operators bring to the table on the defensive or offensive strategies. Some abilities don't necessarily come into play in combat, but more on the setup side of things, such as Jaeger. Jaeger places ADSs on the floor which keep grenades out. This limits the attackers, but it's not necessarily something he'll be actively doing. It's set it and forget it. And lastly, but most certainly not least, and possibly most annoying, Peeker's Advantage. So Peeker's Advantage is something that helps players peek a corner. This is more to deter the campiness players might imbue or embrace when trying to defend on a map. This is why you see some crazy plays where the person never stops moving. Now, Peeker's Advantage also has disadvantages, which is that you are slower to cover. Let's explain what Peeker's Advantage is, though. Peeker's Advantage is a thing that has been a thing for many years across many FPSs. CSGO has Peeker's Advantage, but it's just a few milliseconds as compared to sieges, which seems to be almost 1/4 of a second sometimes. The simple explanation is that when someone peeks a corner, their vision compared to yours is about 0.10 or 0.25 seconds ahead of your vision, meaning they see you first and generally have a faster reaction. Again, this is an intentional design flaw. CSGO's peeker advantage is generally somewhere between 0.02 and 0.05 seconds. Still there, but far less noticeable. Peeker's advantage is coded into the netcode of the game as a type of lag compensation as well. The issue with such a large compensation is that sometimes it creates what looks like terrible hit detection, hits that completely whiff, or headshots that should be there. It's something that you just have to learn and live with as a part of the game. Hopefully it's better designed than the eventual Siege 2, but that's more than likely several years off. Before we finish off the video, one last thing to all you veteran players out there. They know not even half of the things that you do, so have some patience with them, try to teach them, or at the very least, ignore them. And try not calling them a shitlord. We all want this community to grow, so please don't hinder it. That's it for this gamer guide. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I am Guns. Like I said, everything's saved to the end of the video, so if you got what you wanted and you don't care about me, you can click that exit button, and I hope you enjoyed the video. But if you do enjoy me and you feel like supporting the channel, you can hit that subscribe button, and I guess you have to click a fucking bell now. Thanks, YouTube, to get alerts. If you guys want to check out any other videos, down below is a link to the Twitch where you can watch me live when I stream, Twitter, which you can follow my rantings on Twitter, Facebook if you'd like to check out our content there when we post it, and our affiliate link to Green Man Gaming. Anything you buy on Green Man Gaming directly supports the channel. Also, if you'd like to go over to Patreon and support us monthly, everything you give on Patreon comes directly to us, and it's very much appreciated. Anyway guys, I'm Guns. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you later.